She's had one of the biggest falls from grace in Hollywood history.
During the leaks, during the lawsuit, showed a Blake Lively that ran counter to her image.
Someone like Blake, someone like Ryan, being able to think that they've got all the power in the world.
When you're talking about public-facing reputational damage, it's really about what that headline says.
From the courtroom to the court of public opinion, Blake Lively's popularity has taken a dive over the last couple of years.
It's David versus Goliath.
Seems like Justin won, right?
The fact that she did not get a spot in the wedding guest list tells you everything that you need to know.
So how did Blake go from an A-lister to a cautionary tale? She first appeared on our screens in 2005, starring as the effortlessly cool girl in the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants.
Blake Lively was absolutely destined to be a star in the films and on TV, because from the off that she started out with her film The Sisterhood of Travelling Pants, she just had that it factor, the X factor, whatever you want to call it, not to sound like Simon Cowell, but that's what it was all about. That you could just tell that she was this girl next door in a coming of age type film and just had that standout quality that the others didn't have.
Despite the success of the film, Blake was still an unknown in the world of celebrity. But all that changed when she booked the role of Serena van der Woodsen.
It's weird that it's happened so fast and it's gotten so much buzz and excitement. I don't know, can you tell? It's exciting.
I think everyone was so enamored with Blake Lively back in those days because, first of all, the show was a hit. Who didn't love Gossip Girl? Who still doesn't love Gossip Girl? And she was really this powerful combination of aspirational accessibility as a woman and a place where she was soft and stylish, but also funny and family oriented, and had this like, I want to be you, I want to be your best friend, but I also feel like you're somewhat relatable. She was really, I feel like an approachable celebrity. Even if you obviously didn't know her or connect with her, it felt like you could.
Gossip Girl had elevated Blake to it girl status, and it wasn't long before she was swapping the small screen for the silver.
She did not actually reach what I thought she might do from in the film land, because she kind of has it all in what you would expect from a big Hollywood star. But actually it was more TV was her bread and butter. She gave it a go with the Green Lantern just towards the end of Gossip Girl, when she was really at quite a career high. Everyone thought, you know, she's going to be in this next big film. And actually it turned out to be a total disaster.
Despite the Green Lantern being a critical and box office bust, it was not a complete waste of her time.
It completely changed her life, that film, and that's because that's where she met Ryan Reynolds, her now husband. They met on set and there was instant chemistry. They really got on, but it was purely on a friendship level because, of course, Ryan, he was married to Scarlett Johansson, and you had Blake going out with Penn Badgley, who was her co-star on Gossip Girl. It wasn't until a year later when they finally came out as a couple and they'd ended their respective relationships. They went on a double date and sparks were flying. They were just obsessed with each other, and it meant that it was like this is the start of something really special, because you have two huge stars who together are even bigger.
And wedding bells were soon ringing. Blake and Ryan Reynolds tied the knot less than a year later in a small secret ceremony. By 2018, the pair had become the Hollywood couple. Ryan had broken box office records with his film Deadpool, Blake received critical acclaim for her movie A Simple Favor, and the couple had won over the public by roasting each other on social media.
Everyone was obsessed. I think they were playful, he was so funny and witty, and she was beautiful, and he kind of made her have this polished meets approachable. It didn't feel so overly polished, celebrity untouchable that you could never see yourself kind of hanging out and having a barbecue with.
But little did she know that the beginning of the end was upon her after she was announced as the lead in the highly anticipated book adaptation It Ends With Us. From costumes to casting, there was drama from the word go.
It was doomed from the off, because you sort of built up who the characters were going to be in your head when you read the book. And Blake Lively just didn't suit that. There was a mismatch between Blake and Justin Baldoni. It just didn't work. They were too old for the characters. It just felt off. I think also with when you're talking about the press tour for the build-up, the way that Blake was promoting it and advertising it felt off, because of course this is a really tragic story. It's very serious. It's about domestic abuse and domestic violence. And Blake was saying to her friends, like, let's all go out and have a real girly night out and watch this film. And it just felt really, it just didn't hit the right tone.
But it seemed this negative publicity was the least of the studio's concern, as when it came time to promote the film, Justin Baldoni was separated from the rest of the cast.
It was messy. It seemed as though you were watching a family video of a reunion you weren't at, but you were cringing because so-and-so wasn't talking to so-and-so, and seeing people not take photos with each other that are the main characters is very weird. It's not normal in a red carpet / opening. And instead of This Is Us, it was definitely not This Is Us by any means. And I think it started to make people feed into, dig around. It's definitely where things publicly started with the definition of tension between Blake and Justin, for sure.
The film was a box office smash, but the success of the film was not enough to distract from the crisis brewing behind the scenes. 4 months later, and the drama became public after Blake files a complaint against Justin.
It was Blake accusing Justin of, intimidation on set, so, sexual advances and making her feel uncomfortable, fat shaming, saying that there was a moment where she had to be picked up as her character, and he started asking, how much do you weigh? And she just had her baby, and she was quite insecure. And so all of these negative stories about Justin kept coming out, and you're suddenly looking at him and thinking, oh God, is he not this nice guy that we've all presumed that he is?
And Baldoni's team were quick to respond.
They were not prepared for Justin to respond as strongly as he did. He was out there denying that, countersuing her, and he was very aggressive on that. I think her team thought that he would do the classic lawsuit response. Instead, it seemed like there was a leak continuously about Blake Lively, and I don't think her team was ready for that.
I think the truth is, anytime that there's a court of law, so you're dealing with the court of law, which takes a long time, dealing with the court of public opinion, which takes a lot less time.
The pair went tit for tat over the next couple of months, both camps weaponizing the press against each other. But amid all this chaos, one thing became clear: the court of public opinion was not on Blake's side.
It's David versus Goliath. I think in a sense, this was this big megastar, and, she's married to this handsome, Ryan Reynolds. And I think that, in a sense, people do like to destroy the person up on top. And, from her looks and the husband and the outward appearance, certainly that's, that's the dream family. That's the dream look. And I think that there is an element of that, certainly in her downfall.
Everything that came out during the leaks, during the lawsuit, showed a Blake Lively that ran counter to her image. When you don't seem the same person as your branding has been over the years, the public will turn on you. And she went from being this really nice, fun person that everybody thought was really likable, very family-oriented, to coming across as very mean-spirited, cruel, someone you don't want to work with, someone who's just not a nice person.
2025 has seen her image shift from beloved actress to a Hollywood mean girl, and by the beginning of the following year, things were about to get a lot worse.
Somebody just glancing a headline, it seems like, oh my gosh, she was totally in the wrong because 10 out of the 13 dismiss. It sounds damaging when really we don't know all of those ins and outs at this point even, but I also think that doesn't matter when you're talking about public-facing reputational damage. It's really about what that headline says, and that's going to create the comment section and the public perception. It seems like Justin won, right? Like, it seems like she didn't get what she wanted, apparently. And this is just from a public perception, not like literally what's happening.
With nowhere to go, Blake chose to settle the lawsuit without any financial payout, a decision that seemed to validate her critics.
Did more public damage to her that she didn't go through, but I think they made a strategic decision that if it did go into court, more things would come out. She would be damaged even greater than if she settled at that point. I think it was a PR decision to cut their losses. She was suffering. Her friendship with Taylor Swift was all over the news.
Taylor Swift and Blake had been friends for a decade. She was godmother to all three of Ryan and Blake's children.
They were seen doing everything together. They would support each other. It was a real girl empowerment movement, and I loved that about them. And then when Taylor got involved with all of the legal action, it wasn't what she wanted. She didn't want this to be being dredged up. She didn't want her name to be used in this huge legal trial that was really nothing to do with her. But I think that Blake saw an opportunity to use someone like Taylor to be able to bring down Justin, and that's what it appeared to be, this someone like Blake, someone like Ryan, being able to think that they've got all the power in the world.
But by the beginning of 2026, it looked like the friendship was on the rocks.
She was just dragging Taylor Swift in there to try to, win the PR battle by saying, see, my friend Taylor Swift is standing by me. And I don't think Taylor's team wanted anything to do with this lawsuit. They knew it was a loser. They really had nothing to contribute. And they didn't want to use Taylor Swift really as an ornament to try to help refurbish Blake's image.
The final nail in the coffin of their friendship came when Ryan and Blake were nowhere to be found at the wedding of the year.
The fact that she did not get a spot in the wedding guest list tells you everything that you need to know, really. It shows that their friendship, there's no coming back, it's completely over. She was inviting anyone that could make it to the wedding. She wanted it to be this spectacular affair at Madison Square Garden, and so that's what's actually sort of the nail in the coffin for their future relationship and any chance of being able to figure it out.
With Blake at her lowest, Justin decided now was the time to break his silence.
If you've ever been through something traumatic, you know that healing isn't linear.
Justin has come out in a video and with his wife, and they're trying to really mindfully and organically, it seems, rebuild their public-facing image, his specifically. This had an impact. You felt it. You felt the impact on them. You felt the impact on their family, and they were, in my opinion, it was clearly it had some help, but it was really from their heart.
The past couple of years has left her public and professional reputation in tatters. And with no projects on the horizon for the actress,
gorgeous, thank you.
Have we seen the last of her?
Blake Lively can absolutely come back from all of this. I don't think that this is the headline in her obituary. I think this is a sentence or a small part of this story of Blake Lively.
We all love a bit of a comeback story in Hollywood, don't we? All the American films, it's always about that. This is the sort of sequel of all sequels that they were going to find that plays out. I can't wait to find out what happens, to be honest.
From It Girl to social pariah, Blake Lively has a lot of work to do if she hopes to repair her reputation. Let's see if the former Hollywood heavyweight is up to the task.